Hey guys, so I know what you're thinking. If you just saw my last video that I posted, I look the exact same. I'm sitting in the exact same spot, and that is because I filmed that 3 minutes ago. I'm filming back to back, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But today I'm going to be talking about my old roommate. And I have a roommate horror story part 1 that I posted probably like a year and a half ago. Never really thought about doing it again, doing another one. And then the other day I was like, I have so many more stories about this girl that I could talk about. So why not? I don't live even in that home anymore. She doesn't live in my city anymore. So I don't really care about it. Normally, like I said, I don't have notes on my phone, but for this one I have a little thing of notes just to remember how crazy she really was. So if you haven't seen the part 1 video, definitely go check that out. I'll leave like a little card for it somewhere up here. This girl was psycho. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Her friends were even worse. We had to call the cops on her and her friends twice, and I tell those 2 stories in the part 1, so definitely go check that out before you watch this video. This video is just gonna get into all the teeny tiny details of how crazy she really was, and yeah, I'm so happy I live with normal human beings now. To start off, kind of going off the fact that I said her friends were crazy and stuff like that, her friends would break into our house, come into our house when she wasn't there, climb in through her balcony and come into our kitchen. They would constantly eat our food. They would steal things out of our cabinets in the living room. It got so bad to the point where my one roommate, Kathleen, had to put locks on her cabinets because they would steal pots, pans, plates, everything you could think of. And it didn't really make sense as to why. Like, why do you need to steal those things? Like, what are you doing with them? Where are you putting them? Like, it didn't really make sense to us. Our food would go missing all the time, and we didn't share food and stuff. It was just easier to kind of have our own food and keep it separate because stuff gets hard when you have to think of who paid for what, and it was just easier and caused less conflict if we all did our own thing. So we would have our own shelves in the fridge, and our food would go missing, and Kathleen would be like, did you eat my whatever? And I'd be like, no, why would I do that? And it ended up being friends that would come in and just ravage through our kitchen and take all of our stuff. So that was an issue. That was a very large issue in our home for a while. And it got so bad to, like I said, Kathleen locked her cabinets. I had this cat, and we're gonna get into the cat in a second, but I had this cat, and I guess she was either out of town or something, and she was like, hey, can you go check on my cat? Like, my room's unlocked, whatever. So I call Kathleen, and I'm like, she wants us to go check on the cat. You have to come in this room with me. And Kathleen was like, okay, fine. And our other roommate, Sophie, was also there. And we were like, okay, let's all go in this room together. Like, I'm scared for what this room is gonna look like. When I tell you, it was the grossest room I have ever been in my whole life. I'm not exaggerating. It was disgusting. There was stuff everywhere. There was stuff all over her balcony. This is where we found Kathleen's plates, pans, cups, utensils. We found all of the stuff in her room with like mold in it, with food still in it. All of Kathleen's stuff, like all of her pots, pans, plates, whatever. Then we looked, like the closet door was cracked open, and the cat ran into the closet. So we had to open the closet door. We couldn't even like open the door because, and it's a walk-in closet, but we couldn't open the door because the clothes were in, like, I'm not kidding, like a 3-foot tall pile of just clothes. Like, you know, in a closet, there's racks where you would hang your clothes up. Not one thing was on the racks. Nothing was on the racks. Everything was just in a massive pile on the floor. Like, the pile was the size of a small child, to be completely honest. And I remember we were like, oh, there's no way this is real. Like, there's no way. So we could barely breathe in the room from the smell of everything, and we just kind of checked on the cat. Kathleen took all of her pots and pans and plates out of her room and we left. Now, talking about this cat was psycho. And I think the main reason this cat was so crazy was because it was locked up in a small room 99.9% of the day. It didn't get out of this room. She didn't take it out of this room. So I guess it kind of went crazy. And there would be times where I guess she would come in super late at night, sometimes with a guy, and the cat would get out of her room. And I guess she wouldn't realize or she wouldn't care. I don't know. I would go downstairs to get ready for school. I would go downstairs and the cat would come out of nowhere and hiss at me. And I would be like, oh no. Like, and I like cats, but the second they get aggressive or they're mean or whatever, I get so scared, and they can sense when you're scared. And this cat would like hiss and like lunge at you, and it was crazy. And I didn't know like if it had all of its shots or whatever. And it would like jump up on our counters and get like really close and like hiss. And I would be like, oh my God. And I remember there was one time where it got out of the front door. Kathleen had to like run out and get this cat and like put it back in the house and be like, oh my God, Mary, come get your animal. It ripped all of our couch, like our couch in the living room. It had claws still, and it ripped the whole top of the couch. We actually had to make a whole complaint and put it into our front office because we didn't want to get charged for the couch being ruined. So we had to put that in notes that her cat did it with our apartment front office. And the cat, I think the cat was unregistered. They didn't even know she had it. And then she tried to say it was a service animal. And I was like, that cat is not a service animal. It is psycho. And that was always a big issue. The cat would be running around like crazy and hissing. It was mean. It was honestly a mean cat. And cats that are mean terrify me. So when I kind of talked about the friends in the beginning of this video, there was one time, I wasn't there, but Kathleen did tell me about this story, that she either went downstairs or walked inside and there was a girl asleep on our couch. No idea who this girl is. Like, absolutely no idea who this girl is. And scared Kathleen. Kathleen was like, oh my God, who are you? And she was like, oh, I'm my friend. Like, I'm really drunk. I'm just gonna sleep on the couch. And Kathleen was like, okay, but where is she? Oh, wait, I'm saying her name this whole time. I did not realize that I was saying her real name this whole time. Okay, well, I'm just gonna bleep it. In the last video, I called her Becca, so we're just gonna call her Becca again. Where is Becca? And she was like, I don't know where she is. I'm really drunk. I'm sleeping on your couch, whatever. And Kathleen was like, you need to leave my home. Like, I literally don't know who you are. And it was just, there were constantly people in our house that we didn't know. There were constantly people, she would give her keys to people. People could be in our house without her there, which I personally don't like. Like, your friends that we don't know shouldn't be in our house without you being there. I just think that's kind of weird. And it was crazy, the amount of times that Kathleen would yell at her and be like, you need to move out. Like, we are basically kicking you out. The amount of times I would hear her on the phone with people screaming at the top of her lungs. Like, she lived in the room below me. And there were times that I would hear her on the phone with people screaming about who knows what. It was the weirdest thing. I would hear her on the phone screaming at people like constantly. And of course, sometimes I'd like peep my head out my door and like try to listen to see like what in the world was going on. But yeah, she was crazy. The things that she would steal made no sense. Her cat was insane. Her cleanliness was god awful. I do have a part 1 that talks about the 2 times that we had to call the police on her. So if you want to go check that out, then you should definitely do that. I think that's really it. If you watch Stranger Things, I did just do a Stranger Things theories video, which is my last video. I'll leave that link down below, and it'll also be at the end of this video in like the little cards thing. So definitely go check that out. This season was insane. Give this video a big thumbs up if you feel bad for me that I had to deal with that crazy roommate for, was it a semester or a year? I literally can't even remember. Is that bad? Bottom line is it was too long. Comment down below if you've ever had a crazy roommate and let me know some of the crazy roommate stories you've had so I can, you know, feel like I can relate to some of you and we can be sad together about it. It is actually about to be my last year of college, so this is the last year that I'm gonna have to deal with the whole college living thing, but I am very lucky. I love my roommates now. They are so incredible and awesome. They're all friends that I've had since I was in like mid-elementary school, which is really cool. So if you ever want to see a video of me with my roommates, maybe we can tell some stories about living in this house, then comment down below as well. I'm sure we would love to do that for you guys. I'm like, yeah, I'm talking for them. They would love to do it, but I think they would. I really think they would. And subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss anything. I'm going on a really cool trip next week. I'm super excited. If you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing when I'm not sitting in front of a camera, then follow me on Instagram at Nikki Cortland, and I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. It's a sit down video again, so stay tuned. I'm really excited to film this one. It's been one that has been a long time coming. It's kind of like a story time video. It's like a story time, but not a story time. It's a normal video, but there are story times in the video, if that makes sense. But I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Love you all, and definitely go check out the merch down below. It's right there. It's like so close. You just click on it. Just go check it out. I swear it's cool.